Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This Zephaniah, Yehoiakim, Yasha'Allah, a.k.a. Yah-Mordecai, wise warrior for the Most High Mighty One, God of Israel, coming from Sith Lord Tiger School of Truth, with today's 5th installment to the original natural order basic cycle of time. Killing Esau's satanic time system. Day and night, 2 separate cycles. So what's going on? So I bought a class out like I bought a class out like a month ago, debunking Esau's satanic time scale, proving that night and day is 2 separate cycles with transition phases, just like summer and the winter, and it's not being received well from an elder that I came to this truth looking up to. You know what I mean? But now, I gotta chop your head off. Because you did a class where you mentioned it. Then your next class, right after I did the class. Then the next class, your little rebuttal is you come out with a class called The Day of the Lord is Darkness. Trying to prove that a day starts at the nighttime. Negro, you better step your scholarship up. Coming at me. I put the work in. I was studying. I was meditating. Searching the scriptures out. Because what happened, I believe that too. Evening to evening is a day. 24 hours. These devils gave us 24 hours. And you can go on Google and see how they got it set up to get you to believe that the Jews were starting their new day at night. I'm not going to believe everything Esau put out there. I believe some of the stuff is scholars and them put out. But a lot of that stuff is garbage, man. I'm not going to believe that. So then a day during Sabbath service, with a class called Israel Niggas, you going to throw a shot at me in the middle of that class? Negro, first of all, I'm one of the most spiritual men on this earth. Second of all, I ain't no Israel nigga. I'm glued to my book and fighting to live by the book. Even battling my wife, making her bow down to the book. What you talk about, Negro? I'm growing shit down at the department to bring it up here, about to start a greenhouse up here. And prepping and storing food and teaching people the same thing. Waking my little cousins from up out of the streets and all that. Fighting hard in this truth. I ain't sitting on no sofa playing no PlayStation, Negro. I ain't walking around with Zeeks on, Negro. I know the new moon is the full moon, Negro. I ain't telling women they can wear pants, Negro. I ain't making videos about my brothers, Negro. Showing their face and all that. But you're going too far. Somebody need to call you out now. See, you about to get chopped up. You gonna need some help. You gonna need some help from them other brothers that be helping. They ain't gonna be able to help. It's over. They ain't gonna be able to help you. You being a hypocrite, huh? You talking about we all one body and all that. Don't nobody want to research the scriptures. Research the scriptures. Don't nobody want to sit down and come to the table. But when somebody try to do that, you scoffing against it. I'm the only one that brung out of class the new day starts in the daytime. Far as I know. So you talk about me. The same brother that been supporting y'all since I came in the truth. My wife just bought something from your wife. And when y'all go to war with brothers, I go to war too. Because most of the stuff you teach and I agree on it. But I've been a science nerd before I came into truth. You wasn't. You talking about niggas being nigga. You being a nigga, Negro. You being an Israel nigga. You being an Israel nigga. Because you being a hypocrite. Before you hear brother out, because I know they done brought the class to you. I don't know if you looked at it or not, but you rejecting it and you ain't even search it out because your mind made up. You got preconceived notions. You know what I mean? And, and you messing with the wrong one. You messing with the spiritual assassin. I spent weeks researching scriptures and meditating on this class, Negro. So for you to sit up there in your big seat, Mr. Big Man, because you got the spirit of jealousy, hatred, because you just was out there, I seen the class, you telling somebody, don't you know, the new day starts at sundown? So your ass in birds now. But when you humble and you got the understanding that everything that come out ain't gonna come from you, you ain't gonna trip off that. That's gonna be water under the bridge to you. But you know, you talk about brothers being preeminent. You being preeminent, Negro, sitting in your seat, about to get diced up. Yeah, one of y'all comment board and said, prove it with the claims. I'm going to make y'all go look at the claims. I'm going to make you go research to do a claim. But you can't. I know you can't. I know you can't. I don't care if you get Yochanan or Big, whoever else. They're my brothers. All y'all my brothers, and I love y'all. But you need to be called out, Negro. You just stepped in the arena with an orca whale. I ain't Gorilla Hebrew. I ain't GMS. I ain't ISUBK. I ain't GOCC. And I ain't that other school with that nigga that just died. Because he was wicked as hell. Negro. The Most High had to wake up more men because y'all Negroes lacking understanding. Y'all ain't teaching nobody the science of this earth, Negro, or nothing. So we had to wake men up that can do it. Like I always been a bookworm. My father was a scholar in college or whatever. Writing books and all that. Been a bookworm. So that's the spirit I got. The bloodline I come off of. And I'm about brotherhood. I'm about growing and learning. That's why my understanding ain't stuck on stupid. But I'm going to push you to go research this out. And your little point about why it can't be because the full moon, so when the new moon come at night, no. The new moon is a sign to let you know when the sun come up, mark your calendar, it's the new month. Because I got a scripture to prove why it's that. I got a scripture to prove that. The Most High don't want us counting the nighttime. The nighttime is dead space. I'm going to back everything up with the scriptures, Negro. I'm going to back everything up with the scriptures, man. You just jumped in the arena with an orca whale. First, I want to give uh, all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, the God that created the heavens and the earth, the God you should fear. Thank Him for the faith, the grace, the mercy, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, the fortitude, the resolve, the all steadiness, to battle all odds and battle my way in His truth and do His will. Regardless if you Negroes with it or not, I don't care. Do a class up. Don't come with no little subliminals. The title of your class, the day of the Lord is darkness. Man, I see right through you, man. You think I ain't? You done started a war. Started a war with the wrong one. It's all up. First, let me get a shout out to Chosen Few. Chosen Few, y'all should all have made me this pillowcase for my chair. I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna keep teaching, Nick, bro. Look at this. This is my new pillowcase for my chair. Nick, bro, I'm still building, Nick, bro. See that? I'm a servant in this truth. I ain't got no titles, nor that I'm looking to get one. I don't care about no title. You see that? Yahweh's kingdom. Nah, it's Bishop Yefta kingdom. Yahweh's kingdom. Negro. It ain't your kingdom, Negro. So that means you're not going to dictate who know what. If you research something out and prove me wrong, I tip my hat to you and then I follow that. But if you don't do that, you know what I mean? You don't do that. You just a nigga running your mouth. Man, you just jumped in the arena, man. I'm telling you. With a Soto band tiger, man. You talking about? Nigga, I've been studying the science of this earth since I was a kid. The animals, everything. The elements, all that stuff. Anybody that know me know what I was into growing up. I can't help it if life led me in the streets and all that and made me all stiff. It's not. I'm a nerd, but I ain't no square nerd. I'm a red thing. A vicious street dude that's in the truth now, and that's a bookworm. What they say, no, you done fucked up, right? You done fucked up. Let's go. Sick of these hating ass niggas, man, and it's truth. Like I said, my email lordpayne.ep@gmail.com. Hit me up. We can discuss this thing, but I'm not gonna sit back and you keep throwing little subtle shots up. I'm not. So I don't care. Y'all Negroes get mad and all that. Man, y'all don't want no war with me. My scripture game tight. And I ain't having it. On no level. So let's go. Let's start off with let's kill this little point first. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17. For he had given me certain knowledge of things to know, and things that are, namely to know. Verse No, 17. How the world was made and the operation of the elements. Verse 18. The beginning, ending, and midst of time. The alterations of the turning of the sun. The different phases of the sun. The sun go through phases. Like the moon go through phases, Negro. The sun go through phases too. Do your homework. The beginning, okay, turning of the sun and the change of seasons. All this stuff I studied growing up. The circuits of years and the positions of stars. The natures of living creatures, the animals and human beings, men or whatever, and the furies of wild beasts. The violence of winds, the weather, and the reasonings of men. The understanding men have. How men love to hate, especially Negroes with curses on them, love to hate. Love to run their mouth, bump their gums before they look into something. Now you're going to look stupid, huh? The diversities of plants. I got a cactus business and I know about plants and growing and all that. Been researching, I've been landscaping and all that too. And the virtues of roots. What make things grow? That's not just talking about plants. It's talking about the root of a thing. What's the virtue of this truth? What's the virtue of a man's integrity? Who is he as a man at the core? And all such things as either secret or manifest, them I know. So I know what I'm talking about. Let's go to Job. So your little argument about to chop that up. Your little argument about Job. I mean about the full moon or when the new moon come in. So come on, man. You gotta meditate on this stuff. It ain't just about reading. You gotta meditate too. You too. Let's get Job chapter 3. Job chapter 3, verse 6 and 7. As for that night, this the Most High telling you, don't count the nighttime on your calendar. The nighttime ain't nothing. So when the new moon come in, it's just letting you know that the next day start your work day. Start your month off. You know what I mean? As for that night, it's a twofold scripture. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined into the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of months. This is a pearl about Job cursing his birthday, but it's a clue in it. Let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Why? Because at nighttime you sleeping. But it say let that night be solitary. So that means the nighttime and the daytime is two different things. The nighttime is solitary to itself. It ain't got nothing to do with the calendar. Our forefathers told time by a sundial. They wasn't telling time with no clock. Man, I'm about to chop all that stuff up. I'm tired of you Negroes running your mouth, man. You gonna see. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. As for that night, Let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined into the days of the year. So it ain't just talking about when he was born, because it say, curse the day he was born. So why do we say, as for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of months. So that's a subliminal, this scripture right here. It's threefold. It's letting you know birthday's wicked. You know what I mean? On one end. And on another end, well, twofold. And on another end, it's telling you don't count the nighttime when you mark in your calendar. The nighttime is not a day. It's letting you know that, and on a threefold, and on another level, it's letting you know the night and the day is two different cycles. Let them curse that, curse it. Let them curse it that, curse the day, who are ready to raise their mourning. Let the stars of the twilight therefore be dark. So it's talking about the phases of a day and night, but let it look for light. Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day. Come on, man. It just broke down the science of a day. The science of a day and night in a parable talking about a birthday. That's how deep this book is. Go back and read it. Let's go to 1 Kings. I ain't playing. You gotta know who you jumping out there with. I don't care nothing about the school or none of that. You know what I mean? You throwing me in the trash or something. No, you about to get thrown in the trash. Trying to trash me on the low. I done trashed that stuff 4 classes. I done trashed that stuff 4 classes. You ain't caught up yet. You ain't did 1 class yet, huh? So who's the Israel nigga? Let's go to 1 Kings 19. I'm tired of these effeminate Hebrews. That's some effeminate stuff. 1 Kings 19 and 13. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out and stood in entering in of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I, only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, Go return on thy way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when thou comest, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and Jehu the son of Nimshi shalt thou anoint to be king over Israel, and Elisha the son of Shaphat of Abel Meholah shalt thou anoint to be prophet in thy room. 17. And it shall come to pass that him that escapeth the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapeth from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Verse 18. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. So, Negro, man, the Most High got prophets you don't even know about. He got men you don't even know about, that he woke up, that's serious, that breed is true. I wake up and read my book 90% of the time. I'm putting classes together every week. Come on, I ain't no faking in me, See that right there? That's all classes. I'm not on wasting time on Facebook pulling a scripture here and there battling niggas, man, and all that. Yeah, I still be in the comment books because it helped me keep my sword sharp. I ain't puffed up to go on a comment board. I just went in the comment board during a big class and gave him some exaltation. I ain't no hater. Real recognize real. But I'm not going for no fake shit. I'm not. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Israel, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. Let's go to Mark. So you talk that mess. You talk about other brothers. I seen a video when y'all was out there teaching, and a brother said, if you ain't with them, you ain't in the truth. You know what I mean? You're doing the same thing then. You're doing the same thing. The same thing. Let's go to Mark. You forbid me, and you ain't even go over the information because your mind made up on something you ain't got no understanding on. You gotta humble down, because I'm ready to go to war with whoever. I'm built up, scripture-wise. I'm built up. So if you want to take it there, we can take it there about this class and see who come out on the top. You gonna get knocked out, You come with that float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and get knocked out with one punch. Mark 9:38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us. And we forbade him. And we forbade him because he followeth not us. If I ain't bring it out, I don't want to hear that shit. These niggas, these Israel niggas, and all that, and the new day starts in the daytime. These niggas, and you ain't even looked the information up, Negro. So you looking like a scoffer. Have your deacons go over to see if I know if that's right or not. But you're not gonna do that. And if they did, they ain't gonna bring nothing to you, cuz you got your mind made up. I talked to Ben and I on the phone years ago. Yeah, you right about if they wives getting in something and all that, but he told me. He told me. Somebody can show you some of the scriptures. You ain't trying to hear. So y'all had a split, whether if they was effeminate or not. I'm talking about scripture-wise. So, you know what I mean? You getting what you looking for. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followeth not us. And we forbade him, because he followeth not us. But Yahweh said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that lightly can speak evil of me. That miracle talking about understanding, waking people up. It's a miracle coming from the backgrounds we come from to wake up and learn this book. I prayed to him to let me learn when I was locked up. It ain't no coincidence the same book I had in my hand praying to him with is the first book I had in the truth. Hold up. See, I ain't no fake nigga in this truth. This the first book I had in the truth right here. I done glued this joint back together and everything. Know what I mean? I done glued, you can see the glue on that junk. I done glued that junk. You can see the glue. First book I had, it's a Bible I had in jail years and years ago that I prayed to him with. And when I found the truth, I still had it in my basement. I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear it. No, I'm on a spiritual path. Let's go to Sirach. Want to hear that mess, man. Negroes love jumping out there with some odds. Well, you just jumped out there with the wrong one. The wrong one, Jack. The wrong one. Sirach 6 and 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord. And let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord. And meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thy heart, thy mind, and give thee wisdom at thy own desire. So that's why I'm finding out stuff. Because I'm letting my mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord and meditate and continue. Think you the only one meditating, praying, and fasting. I'm praying 3 times a day and meditating every day in this truth. Every day. Every day, every night. Because I ain't got no big major platform. That stuff don't mean nothing. You let that fool you, you going to get embarrassed. Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Nah, thou should just meditate in the day, because the nighttime is the daytime too. Thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So that's why I'm having good success in the scriptures, because I'm meditating day and night. Let's go to Sirach 6 and 32. My son, if thou, I'm going to mark it up with something else. Thy son, my son, if thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. Why you going to be prudent? Cause you're gonna get wisdom. But let's see what's gonna happen though when you don't if you don't let nobody teach you nothing because of your status and all that. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. Know what I mean? When you hear some wisdom and you unlearned in it, it's unpleasant to you. Let's go to he that is without understanding will not remain with her. 21. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone or trial, and he will cast her from him it be long. 22. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifested unto many. 23. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel. This ain't my advice and my counsel. That's the Most High God, Yahweh advice and counsel, Negro. I ain't coming with my own words. I'm speaking the words of the Most High Yahweh. You don't want to receive it, Negro? That's on you. He's speaking through me in this book. That's why he's showing me what stuff is and all that. You can't see it. Don't get mad. Step your scholarship up. Like I said, I was a bookworm growing up. Like my father. Got me messed up, Negro. Let's go to Sirach 35. Be willing to hit Sirach 6 and 35. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. You ain't willing to hear every godly discourse. It's a godly discourse, me putting out there the real science what a night and a day is. Dispelling Esau satanic clock system. 24 hours is a day. Y'all Negroes ain't no different from him. If he telling you the new day starts at 12 a.m. and y'all saying it's sundown, it's the same thing. It's at nighttime, dum-dum. Our forefathers weren't telling time by no AM and PM. They ain't had no clocks on the wall. They was telling time with the sun died and observing the phases of the sun. The sun go through phases like the moon do. How I know? Because I sat out there for weeks observing the sun. I don't want to hear that mess. Let's go to 33. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. Oh, these Ezra niggas, the new day starts in the daytime. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bind thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Nah, these niggas, these Ezra niggas, and the new day starts in the daytime. These doctrines, these niggas. If thou will bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. That's why you ain't gonna be wise on the topic till you bow down, Op. This the Most High talking to you. This ain't me. This your Howard talking to you, Negro. Let's go to where we at? We at 36. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Hit that man up. Email that man. You know where he live at? Go to his house. Get in touch with him. And bug him about that knowledge because you want to know. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Nah, see a man of understanding. Don't get betimes. Don't rush to get to him. and don't let your foot wear the steps at his door. Hate on him. Call him an Israel nigga and subliminally call him an Israel nigga. Throw his stuff, throw his understanding in the trash without looking into it. And let thy feet wear the steps that I do. My email always up. I'm always open for discussion, Op. You keep complaining about these other Negroes don't want to sit down at the table. I'm willing to sit down and go over something. And if you can prove me wrong, you won that, Op, and we keep going forward. But this little petty ass hating shit you on, you starting a war that you not gonna win. You're gonna embarrass yourself. Your school gonna see that you don't know what you're talking about, man. Stop acting senile and letting hear brother out. I'm your brother. I've been supporting y'all since I came across y'all in spirit and physically. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to Sirach 3. These niggas with this hating Israel nigga spirit, man. This jealous hating Israel nigga spirit because you ain't discovered something. So before you look into it, you want to scoff, throw little shots out there. Man, Negro, please. Let's go to Sirach 3 and 21. And you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna get me times at the door because of what? Seek not, Sirach chapter 3 verse 21. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength. This above your strength, it's too hard for you to search out. That's why you threw little shout out there. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee. Gonna make a little statement in your next class. Your rebuttal is the title of your class. The day of the Lord is darkness. Neither search the things that are above thy strength. You gonna scoff on it because you can't do no class to prove a day start at nighttime, Negro. It's above your strength. And you ain't gonna seek it out. So that's why you made a little comment. Then you try to come back with your little title to your little class, the day of the Lord is darkness, looking stupid in the beginning of the class. Because you know you can't do a class. Can't do a class to prove that, Let's go to Sirach 5. And you got me twisted, Negro. I'm a warrior. I ain't ducking no wreck. Sirach 5 in chapter 11. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere, and with patience give answer. Nah, somebody bring something to you, just throw it in the trash, and then when you do a class, you throwing little shots at them, knowing they watching your class. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere. You ain't sincere. You ain't sincere because you ain't do no class to prove nothing, And with patience give answer. Nah, but somebody bring it to me, I'm just going to scoff at it. And when I do a class, I'm going to talk shit like a nigga. You the Israel nigga. Negro. Verse 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. Why you ain't answer back with no class? Ain't I'm your neighbor? Ain't we from the tribe of Judah? If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Man, shut your mouth, Negro. Close your mouth, man. Don't throw no shots at me, man. Verse 13. Because this was going to happen. Honor and shame is in talk. And the tongue of man is his fault. Your honor and your shame you think you got is from you running your mouth. That's where your honor and your shame is your honor at. And your shame will come by too. Your honor come when you speak wise words and breakdowns that's proper you came out with and all that. Chopping up a lot of old stuff. But your shame will come by your mouth too. Your shame will come by your mouth too. Because you talking, you talking smack to a brother that's studying just hard as you is, if not more. And the tongue of man is his fault. Be not called a whisperer, and lie not, and wait with thy tongue. For a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. Come on, man. Let's read it again. Be not called a whisperer. You behind the scenes telling people, oh, the new brothers believing in the new day now. You're talking to your deacons and all that. And lie not and wait with thy tongue. You couldn't wait to do this Sabbath, to throw that shot. For a foul shame is upon a thief. You trying to steal somebody you trying to steal somebody recognition and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. Man, you got a double tongue up because on one end you tell brothers that don't hate and to sit down and to research, go over, search the scriptures out, email people and all that. But you sitting up there throwing little shots at somebody like a nigga. 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small matter. Now I'm searching everything out. I don't care if it's a deep mystery or something basic as day and night. Because I want to know. Let's go to 2 Timothy. These Israel niggas, man. Call the niggas Israel niggas, but you looking like an Israel nigga. Come on, man. You want to dish it? Now you got to be willing to receive what you've been dishing out. I'm a man. I'm going to stand up for what I know is the truth. And because you got a deep, raspy voice and all that, and yeah, these niggas and these Israel niggas and the new day stars in the daytime. Negro, my voice just as heavy, Negro. 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God. Nah, I ain't gonna study because I got lazy. I done got fat. Now my school done grown. I done got lazy. I don't want to study as hard as I used to. Study to show thyself approved unto God. And on another level, I'm studying to show approved to God, not you Negroes out there. I'm studying to manifest some approval from the Most High. Not from you hating ass Negroes because of your little school. You'll get your school trashed. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed. I'm putting the work in. So I ain't ashamed what I'm bringing out. Rightly dividing the word of truth. I'm rightly dividing the word of truth. I know when the scriptures is going twofold. I know when it's saying darkness is talking about wickedness, but on the other end it's talking about the literal dark, the nighttime. I'm meditating on the different levels of scriptures. I'm rightly dividing the word of truth. But you not because you puffed up. Let's go to Sirach. Book of Sirach, 37. 37 and 14. For a man's mind is sometime want to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. You got 7 men sitting up on a tower telling you war is coming. People trying to invade the kingdom. And you down there talking about no they ain't. And you can't even see. And you got 7 brothers up there on the tower telling you. And you don't believe it. I bought out all the info. And you still want to speak against it. Like you done did your homework, but you didn't. I can tell. For a man's mind is sometimes wants to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. Why do you Negroes want to know more than know more than what you really know? Come on, man, I see right through you. You want to know more than what you know. What you want to know. Brothers want to be this great wise man. Well, I'm the old great wise man. And then when somebody come along and chop your head off, the understanding you got, you get mad. Niggas is some haters, man. Let's go to verse 16. Let reason go before every enterprise. Let reason go before any endeavor. For any enterprise, this truth is like an enterprise, a class, and counsel before every action. You should have went and sat down with your deacons and went over the class and broke it down and meditated on it before you took counsel. If you even did that. Let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action. Come on, Negro. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go on to let's go on to class name. So what we got? Let's go on to Zonderville. Come on, Negro. Let's go. Dawn letter. Let's go to the Dawn. I got a Dawn letter. So we starting at where we starting at? Okay. No, we ain't right there yet. We starting at creation. So we are proving NITE. We are proving night and day, 2 different life cycles with 7 phases, proving 12 hours in a day, 12 hours in a night, also proving 24 hours in a day is false and is proving Esau's satanic clock system. Overall proving what a day is technically. And I'm talking about during the summer solstice. Because we know during the winter time, it's less sunlight. So this class I brought out is talking about the summer solstice, the life cycle and stuff growing and all that. The winter cycle is for rest and death and all that. So let's go. We starting at creation. Starting at creation. Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's just a summary. Because at one time, I was looking at it like, okay, the Most High, the earth and stuff was already created. So this stuff going into something else. But it's not. Verse 1 is the summary. Like when you read any book, it give you a summary of what's going on. It's just a summary. Um, let's go to Psalms. Let's go to Psalms. Psalms 102. Is Psalms 102 and 25. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. 26. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. Yea, all of them shall wax old like a garment. As a vesture shalt thou change them, and thy shall be changed. Well, I don't know why I put verse 26 on there. But anyway, of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. So it's letting you know we living in a created system. Regardless if it's going into wickedness and all that. But on another level, it's telling you that this earth was mapped out and created, the bands created it. They created this earth. They put this earth, they strategically put this earth together. How they did it, I don't know. But I know that they did. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Let's go to second address, 6 and 39. Starting at creation. And then was the Spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not formed yet. Nah, Genesis 1 and 2 talking about the commandments going to men. And then was the Spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not formed yet. Come on, man. It's talking, let's go to 40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth in thy treasures, that thy work might appear. This chapter going into the creation story. And it just lets you know right there, the light time is for work. So you can see what you're doing. Let's go back to Genesis 1 and 2 again. Olive oil on my nose. Genesis 1 and 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Let's go to Psalms 107. I'm gonna break all this stuff down. Go to Psalms. Psalms 107 and 15. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. Verse 20. He sent his word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. Let's go to 21. Oh, that men would praise the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. 22. and let them sacrifice the sacrifices of thanksgiving and declare his works with rejoicing. You know what I mean? Declare his works. It's talking about the things he done made. It's talking about the word too. But on another end, it's talking about his creations. 23. They that go down to the sea in ships that do business in great waters. Let's go to oh no, let me go back to Genesis 1 and 2 again. Made a misstep. Genesis 1 and 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So let's go to Jeremiah. I'm about to prove that right there is Genesis 1 and 2 is talking about the face of the deep, Yahweh giving his commandments to Christ to start creating. These celestial beings we talking about, they've been here for eons, man. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. Jeremiah chapter 4 and 22. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Scottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. 23. I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they have no light. They had no light. Now, that right there is talking about knowledge, the commandments, and understanding, and all that. Jeremiah went back in Genesis, and it is told you in verse 22 what he was talking about. So, let's go back to Psalms again. Go back to Psalms. Psalms 107. So what I'm proving is that this talking about the creation, that the Most High gave his commandments to men to do his will. So let me jump to Luke now. I read Psalms. Let's go to Luke. I read Psalms 107, 15, 20 through verse 15. Then I went to 20 through 23. Now I'm going to Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2 and 49. And he said unto them, how is it that ye sought me? Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? Let's go to Luke 22. Let's see if Christ is doing the Most High business on earth. Let's see. We're going to break this stuff all the way down. Let's go. Luke 22. Luke 22 and 25. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. So I'm letting you know when he said he be about his Father's business. And then in Psalms 107, 15 and 20 to 23, it's talking about men that go down to the sea in ships. This talking about teaching. Let's go to Mark. Now let's go to Mark. Mark 10 and 42. But Jesus called to him and said unto them, ye know that they which are counted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercised authority upon them. Let's go. Second Esdras. So I'm proving right here that that ship, when Christ said he bought his father business, and in Psalms it said, them that do business, that go down to the sea in ships, that do business in great waters. This showing Christ the whole book, and he was there in the beginning. He was created before the element of light. Let's go to Second Esdras 2, Second Esdras 12 and 42. To prove that the ships is talking about the prophets, man. Second Esdras 12 and 42. For all of the prophets thou only art left us as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Read it again. And as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. For all the prophets thou only art left us as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Let's go back to Psalms. Let's go back to Psalms again. Psalms 107. 107. 27 through 30. They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man, and are at their wits' end. Then they cry unto the Lord in trouble, and bringeth them out of their distresses. He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still. Let's go to back to Second Esdras again, 12 and 42. 12 and 42. For of all the prophets thou only art left us as a cluster of the vintage, and as a candle in a dark place, and as a haven or ship preserved from the tempest. Go back to Psalms 107:24. These see the works of the Lord, and his wonders in the deep. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God. It ain't just talking about teaching. It's talking about everything. His creation, his word for us, the commandments, his creation, everything. Let's go to Matthew 13 and 47. Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. What's that talking about? Talking about the knowledge of the Most High so deep, man. You need a net. You got to go get deep on it. Cast into the sea and gather there every kind. All type of people from all different walks of life. Let's go back to Genesis 1 and 2 again. Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The face of the deep, Yahweh, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Let's keep on. Let's go to John. No, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 and 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God. Verse 11. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man, which is in him? Even so the things of God knoweth no man, but the Spirit of God. Let's go back to Genesis 1 and 2 again. That's how deep the Most High knowledge is. The book ain't just talking about man wisdom, the commandments he gave to man and all that. Talking about everything, the stuff man can't even figure out. Genesis 1 and verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. The earth wasn't created yet. It was void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. What nobody had the understanding of the Most High knowledge, man. And the Spirit of God and his word, his commandments, his orders moved upon the face of the waters, Christ. Let's go to first, let's go to John 7 and 38. John chapter 7, verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Just proving Christ is the waters is talking about in Genesis 1 and 2. Starting at creation, just giving Annis a preview to my class, Genesis 1 and 2, but this leading up to the creation of light and day. Day and night. Let's go to Revelations 22 and 1. So he said, who believeth on him, as the scripture said, out of his mouth should flow, belly should flow rivers of living water. Let's see why. Revelations 22 and 1. And I saw, no, 22 and 1. And he showed me a pure river of water, of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. Let's prove it some more. 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 4 and verse 6. For God who commanded the light to shine. He ain't just talking about his word he gave to man. Talking about his creation too. Because Christ was created before the elements of light. For God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness have shined in our minds to give the light of knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. He the face of the waters. It's talking about. Read it again. For God who commanded the light to shine out of the darkness. Talking about creation. Have shined in our hearts. Now it's talking about the knowledge. Hearts mean mind. To give the light of knowledge of the glory of God. To give man understanding in the face of Jesus Christ. The face of the waters. Let's get some more on it. Let's prove it. Genesis 1 and 3. Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. That's when the light elements was created. But who created them? Let's see. Let's get some more on it. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1 through 6. God, who at sundry times and diverse manners spake in times past, and to the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. Verse 3, who being the brightness of his glory, his representative from the beginning, and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, when he was a man on earth, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high. Verse 4, being made so much better than angels. Talking about men, because it's got angels on earth. As he hath been inheritance, obtained a more excellent name than they. Verse 5, for unto which of the angels said he at any time, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. And again, I will be to him a father, and he shall be my son. Verse 6, and again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of God worship him. He said the first begotten into the world. Adam was born before Christ. So, who was it talking about? Saying Christ was here in the beginning, man. Say the first begotten in the world. So, is that saying Christ is Adam? Or is that talking about Christ was created before everything, man, out of all his creations? Let's go to John. Let's see. Let's get some more on it. John chapter 1. John chapter 1, 1 through 4. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Read it again. In the beginning was the Word, the knowledge of Yahweh, and the Word was with God, Christ. Because why would it have to say, and the Word was with God? If it say right here, in the beginning was the Word. So if God was in the beginning, it's self-explanatory that the Word was with him, because he the one who put the Word out there. And the Word was with God. Who known as the Word of God? Christ. And the Word was God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. It say all things was made by him, and was not anything made that was made. The light elements. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. In him was life, and the life was light of men. That's twofold. In him was life. The Most High ordered him to start creating. And the life was the light. The physical light, the sun. Can't nothing live without the sun. Life was light of men. And the life was light. And the life was the light of men. And the light and the life was the light of men. Now, these twofold scriptures. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of terrestrial is another. So how can all things be made by anything that was made by Christ if he just only was here in a physical form? But the scriptures tell you he was sent down here in a physical form. Let's go back. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 6. For God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness have shined in our hearts, talking about your mind, to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. The face of the waters, man. It say to give the light of knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. And it says the first begotten of the world. And wasn't nothing made that wasn't made by him. Let's go to Mark. Mark chapter 16 and verse 9. Now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, I thought he supposed to die 3 days and was risen again. Now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, that's subliminal right there. Genesis 1 and 2 links up with that. Let's go to Mark 16 and 2. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came into the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. Ain't Christ nicknamed the Son of Man, representing light and knowledge and all that? That's what it's representing. Itching like shit. He was there the first day of the week. He was risen the first day of the week. He was there in the beginning. Let's go to Matthew 17. We got olive oil mixed with frankincense. That stuff be itching. When it start to dry up, it'll start itching. Let's go to Matthew 17 and 2. And was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as light. Let's go back to Genesis 1 and 2 again. And the earth was without form. The earth wasn't created yet, and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. It was no understanding about the Most High Yahweh in this universe, or whatever you want to call it, out there. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Face of the waters. The Spirit going into his word, his commandments, and it moved upon the face of the waters. Let's see who the face of the waters is. Go back to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians 4 verse 6. For God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Let's prove it. Say, in the face of Jesus Christ. When you represent a franchise, what they say? Oh, he the face of Nike. He the face of Adidas. He the face of the NBA. Christ the face of this truth. That's why I say that for God who commanded the light to shine out of the darkness, commanded the elements of light to come forth before the sun was created, have shined in our hearts, in our mind, his knowledge to give the light of knowledge of glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Let's go to Revelations 22:1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, receding out of the throne of God and the Lamb. Keep going. Go back to Genesis 1:3. Genesis 1:3. Shit start itching, man. Genesis 1:3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Go to Proverbs 6:20. For the Proverbs 6:23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproof of instruction are the way of life. Let's go to Salakia, y'all. Salakia, y'all. Yeah. I ain't finished yet. All right, baby. Checking in. I ain't finished yet. Proverbs 6:23. Let's go to Genesis 1. Proven creation. That's talking about the law is lamp and all that. Genesis 1:3 said, let there be light, and there was light. Talking about the light elements. Now, Proverbs, it show you the laws of lamp and the law is light and all that. Now, let's go to Genesis 1:14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night. Nah, to make them all the same thing. To divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. It didn't say and for days and nights and years. It just said for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Why I don't say seasons and for days and nights and years? Because the night ain't counted on the calendar. Let's go to second Esdras 6. Second Esdras 6:45. Upon the fourth day thou commandest that the sun should shine, and the moon give her light, and the stars should be in order, and gavest them a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. Go back to Genesis 1:3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. I'm just proving the book of Genesis chapter 1 is going into the literal creation. It's not just talking about no commandment. Man wasn't even created yet. We're going to get to it. Let's go back to Genesis 1:3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. Second Esdras 6:40. Let's see why he said, let there be light. That is not just talking about understanding or the truth or whatever. That is talking about literal light. Second Esdras 6:40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures, treasures of his creation, understanding his knowledge, that thy work might appear. So once they created the light elements and it's all mapped out, then they, okay, we're going to make the sun and all that so that his work might appear. What's his work? The earth, the land mass part, the water, the plants, the animals, everything. That's so his light can appear. If there wasn't no sun, you wouldn't be able to see nothing. Go to Genesis 1 and 4 now. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 and 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Showing a separation. Let's go to verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Nah, he called it 24 hours in a day. He called the nighttime the new day. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. Come on, man, let's get some more to it. Now we out of the creation. Now we getting down to the light and day and all that. That's why I started with the creation, slowly breaking it down. Now we get into it. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. I'm gonna break all this stuff down. Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there's a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. That's like summer and harvest. It said time to be born and a time to die, summer, winter, a time to plant in the daytime, the light time, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, the harvest time. Let's go to Genesis 8 and 22. Let's get some more on it. Genesis 8 and 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold, and heat, and summer, and winter, and day, and night shall not cease. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold, and heat, and summer, and winter, and day, and night shall not cease. Come on, man. They different cycles. Let's go to First Maccabees 12 and 26. What's this? Where we at? First Maccabees. Second Maccabees 12 and verse 26. He sent spies also until their tents, who came again, and told him that they were appointed to come upon them in the night season. Come on, man. The nighttime is its own season. And appointed to come upon them in the night season. Come on, man. Let's go to Sirach 45, 42. Sirach 42. Sirach 42 and 15. I will now remember the works of the Lord and declare the things that I have seen. In the words of the Lord are his works. Let's go to 22. Oh, how desirable are all his works, and that a man may see even to a spark. Can Esau and them go on an electron microscope and see the elements? They even can see elements that just phase in and phase out. They call them quarks. 23. All these things live and remain forever for all uses. Things are double one against another, and he hath made nothing imperfect. One thing established the good of another, and who shall be filled with beholding his glory? Say, one thing established the good of another. So the elements and all that he made it and created, we see what it done created. Let's say how man can see even how that a man may see even to a spark. Is that talking about a spark coming from a light banging two rocks together and a spark come out? No. When you get that telescope and you can see elements and all that, some of the spark of creation, man, the spark of life. That's what it's going into. So now, let's get on this work week now. To prove that the first book of Genesis is talking about a work week, Negro. Talking about, it's showing you, it's talking about the creation, but it's equating it to a work week. And breaking down how you understand when to work and when not to work. And what the purposes for everything is. Let's go back. Let's go to Genesis. Let's go to Genesis 1 and verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Verse 8. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Let's go to verse 13. And the evening and the morning was the third day. Why are they saying the evening, the morning, and the night? But when you read it from right to left, it's giving you the understanding from morning to evening. Because evening and the morning, not 24 hours, what brothers believe in. So why just say the evening and the morning? Let's go to 19. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Let's go to 23. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Let's go to 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Let's keep going. Genesis 2, 1 through 3. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God had created and made. So that's talking about the Sabbath right there. That's when the Sabbath was ordained right there. But why I don't say in the morning and the evening was the seventh day? Why I don't say that right there? The morning and the evening was the seventh day. Because he ordained the Sabbath to be from evening to evening, a feast day. Give you more time to prep and meditate and all that on it. They don't want you to wait till you wake up and then trying to get in mode. Let's go to Leviticus. All the way to the sixth day, it said the evening and the morning was a day, all the way up to the sixth day, but on the seventh day, it just say he sanctified it. Let's see why. Leviticus 23 and 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the ninth day of the month at evening, from evening until evening shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. Nah, you should celebrate it what a day is. From evening until evening shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. Nah, celebrate the 24-hour day cycle that Esau pushing. Shall ye celebrate your Sabbath? Come on, man, let's go. Let's go to Genesis. Let's see what else created during the day. Genesis 5 and 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and God called their name Adam. In the day when they were created. Go to Genesis 1 and 26. Let's see when they was created. This is the fifth day. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. See if that's the sixth day. It's upon the sixth day. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Male and female created he them. Let's jump down to 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Let's get some more. Nehemiah. See, I'm going to give you precept after precept after precept after precept. Not going to be a nigga running your mouth. Sirach 4 and 21. Let's see what it's saying in the sixth day they was created. Let's see why I say that. They was created in a day. Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 21. So we labored in the work, and half of them held their spears from the rising of the morning till the stars appeared. 22. Likewise, at the same time said I unto the people, let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard to us, and labor on the day. At night, in the night, they may be a guard to us. Why? Everybody sleep. And labor on the day. It's a clue mystery puzzle book to let you know the daytime when the sun out is for work. So the night possibly can't be be the daytime. Negro. Read it again. So we labored in the work, and half of them held their spears from the rising of the morning to the stars appeared. The twilight. That's from morning to evening. And then after the twilight, let's see what happened. Likewise, at the same time said I unto the people, let everyone with his servant lodge within Jerusalem, that in the night they may be a guard unto us and labor on the day. Now at night let them labor, and in the night they may be a guard to us and labor on the day. Come on, man, Negro. You ain't got no understanding, Negro, and you running your mouth. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, get some more on. I told you. Ecclesiastes. This class was geared towards Esau, episode 1. But since Negroes won't run their mouth, now it's geared towards you. Now you got to prove your class up. Now you got to step your scholarship up. Step your knowledge game up. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 22. For what have man of all his labor and the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? No, he labored under the moon. Where he hath labored under the sun. 23. For all his days are sorrows. So it's equating the sun to the daytime. For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief, yea. His heart taketh not rest in the night. The night is the rest, the cycle for rest. His heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. Let's go. So we tackled that. And that was the starting off. Now we really about to dive in now. We really about to dive in now. Really about to dive in now. So I got a day letter. Let me go on to Zonderville. Day letter, Zonderville, and Google. Let me go. Let me start. Let's start. This what a day is. Hold up. See, they got different. Let's go to Zonderville. So let's go to Zonderville. Day, a word having various meanings in the Bible, denoting time from sunrise to sunset. A word having various meanings in the Bible, denoting time from sunrise to sunset. What they scholars saying is a day. Can't go by Google op. From sunrise, let's see what sunrise to sunset is. Let's go to John. John chapter 11 and verse 9. Jesus answered, Yahweh shall answer, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. Come on, man. I'm trashing your understanding. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Come on, man. They don't have nothing to do with each other. Let's keep going. Okay, so I'm showing they, on one end, it's about good and evil. On one end, the more of the story is about separation. And on another end, it's showing the parable of polar opposites. Let's go. Um, let's keep reading. 15. And what concord have Christ with Baal? Or what part have he that believer with an infidel? It's letting you know right there. And what agreement have the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not an unclean thing, and I will receive you. Man, I believe in a new day, and a new day start at nighttime is an unclean thing, man. It just broke it down right there. It say, what communion have light and with darkness? It's telling you they polar opposites. But what do Christ got with Baal? They polar opposites. So let's go to Genesis 1 and 5 and see why I say, what communion have light with darkness? Let's see. Let's see, God, get the pride up off you, man. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to keep teaching. And if you want war, you going to get. Genesis 1 verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. Nah, he called the 24-hour cycle, he called it day. He called light 24 hours. And God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. Hold up, let me show how these devils got these brothers mixed up because they lazy. Let's keep going. This a day on Google. A period of 24 hours as a unit of time. Let's see what they scholars say. Google is ran by political sellouts. Let's see what they scholars say though. See, Negroes don't like to read. Let's go to a day. A word having various meanings in the Bible, denoting time from sunrise to sunset. No, it's a 24-hour sunrise to sunset is 12 hours. But what Google say? A period of 24 hours as a unit of time. Come on, man. I'm gonna believe these scholars before I believe this Esau before I believe that Esau. Cause it make more sense, man. And these Esau top scholars put this book together. Brothers that believe most of everything else, they go to that proving who the Negroes are. When they go to Ham and all that, I don't want to hear it. Let's keep going. So Esau give you, let's go back and read it again. John John 11. Yahweh in 9 verse and 10. Yahweh shall answer, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. So that you know the daytime is when the sun is up. Verse 10. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. So it's talking about understanding and the truth on one end, but on another end, it's telling you the daytime is when the sun up and the nighttime when it's not up. It's telling you the daytime is when you can see and the nighttime is when you can't see. They two different cycles. Come on, man, let's keep going. So Esau give you 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. 6 a.m. is they morning, 12 a.m. is they 12 p.m. is they noon. That's 666. 6 p.m. is they evening and 12 a.m. is they new day. That's 666 right there. That's 24 hours. Even in the evening is 24 hours. It's making night and day one thing. When in the first book of the scriptures, it tell you they separate. So when I was doing my observation, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. going by the phases of the sun, what position the sun was at. So that part could probably be debated, but either way, it's 12 hours. 7 to 7 is 12 hours, and 7:30 to 7:30 is 12 hours. Let's go. Come on. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. We proving what a day is now. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which was planted. So it's letting you know it's a season. Everything has its own season. Everything is their own season. A time to plant, a time to every purpose under the heaven. So it's letting you know right there. It's letting you know right there. Day and night is their own thing. And they got their own purpose. You can't join them together. It's confusing. It don't make sense. I'm trying to show you something. It's like you trying to shit on me. So now I gotta pick my sword up and swing back. You ain't scaring nobody. You ain't putting no fear in nobody. You not proving nothing. You looking like an idiot and a fool as a bishop. The Most High sent me to tell you that. I'ma stand up to you. I'ma stand up to you with the right understanding. Whether you like it or not, I'm your brother. You don't want to bow down? If I gotta hit you over the head to make you see something, that's what I gotta do. Be mad. I don't care. Let's go to Genesis 8 and 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold, and heat, and summer, and winter, and day and night shall not cease. A different cycles. keep going. Got babies at home waiting on me. It's the Sabbath over. I'm still teaching. Baruch chapter 2, verse 25. And lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day and the frost of the night. Didn't it just say that in Genesis 8 and 22? Let's go back to it. Genesis 8 and 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold, and heat, and summer, and winter, and day and night shall not cease. The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 25. And lo, they are cast out of the heat of the day, and to the frost of the night. Come on, man. It's showing a different cycles. Let's keep going. Let's get some more. That's the spirit. Sirach. No. 18 and 26. I'm thinking 12 and 26. Sirach. I'm thinking I'm going to Maccabees. 18 and 26. From the morning until the evening, the time is changed. Why? It's going into the nighttime. From the morning until the evening, the time has changed, and all things are soon done before the Lord. Then he said, let's see where this parallels. Parallel, when things parallel, they mean they in agreement with each other. Let's go back to Genesis real fast. Genesis 1 verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So his day was over from morning to evening. Let's prove it. Sirach 18 and 26. From the morning until the evening, the time is changed. It's going into the nighttime, and all things are soon done before the Lord. His day was over. Well, let's go. Second Maccabees, chapter 12. And 26. The second Maccabees. Those first Maccabees. First Maccabees 12 and 26. He sent spies also into their tents, who came again and told him that they were appointed to come upon them in the night season. Why? Because everybody was asleep. Your body instinctively know when you sleep, supposed to be asleep. Let's go back to Genesis. They say in the night season. Let's see why I say in the night season. Genesis 1 and 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. They two different things. Let's keep going. Let's go to Daniel 9. Go to Daniel. Daniel 9 and 20. And whilst I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and sin of my people Israel, presenting my supplication before the Lord my God, for the holy mountain of God. Yea, Whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I seen in the vision, at the beginning, because being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of evening oblation. Let's go to Daniel 8 and 26 and 27. Proving that morning to evening is the day. 26. Daniel 8 and 26. And the vision of the evening and the morning, which was told, is true. Wherefore, shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. So it's that you know right there, morning and evening is a day. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. Let's go back to Daniel 9 and 20 again. Let's jump to 21. Yea, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision, at the beginning of what? At the beginning of the day in the morning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. Jump over here. Daniel 8 and 26. And the vision of the evening and the morning was told is true. Let's go, man. Let's keep going. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. The word "and" is a conjunction. It's just putting two things together. That don't mean that's the order we go in. Let's go to Second Esdras. Second Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 31. If thou wilt pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by the day than I have heard. Let's keep going. For thy voice is heard before the Most High, for the mighty have seen the righteous dealing. He hath seen also the chastity which thou hast ever seen since thy youth. 33. And therefore have he sent me to show thee all these things, and to say unto thee, be of good comfort, and fear not. 34. And has not with the times that are past to think vain things, that thou mayest not has from the latter time. 35. And it came to pass after this that I wept again and fasted 7 days in like manner, that I might fulfill 3 weeks which he told me. And let's prove it that the day and the night is true, that it just ain't talking about the day and the night when he's saying days. Verse 36. And in the 8th night, the 8th day, and in the 8th night was my heart vexed with me again, and I began to speak before the Most High. Let's keep going. Verse 37. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. And I said, O Lord, thou speakest from the beginning of creation, even the first day, and saidest thus, let heaven and earth be made, and thy word was made perfect. Was a perfect work, and thy word was a perfect work. His commandments went out for them to create the earth and everything, and his word was a perfect work, his orders. 39. And then was the spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed yet. Man wasn't even in the picture yet. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth in thy treasures, that thy work might appear. Come on, man. Why is work might appear? Because they created the sun and all that when they seen what they could do with the light elements. But it was already mapped out. They did it in steps, man. Just proving light and day is two different cycles. One for work, one for rest. Let's go to Psalms 32. Psalms 32. Psalms 32, verse 3 and 4. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. Verse 4. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of the summer. So that you know right there, day and night, two different things. Let's go to Psalms 88. Psalms 88, 1 through 13. Okay. Lord God of my salvation, I have cried day and night before thee. Now I cried 24 hours in a day before thee. I have cried day and night before thee. Let my prayer come before thee, incline thy ear unto my cry. Verse 3. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draweth nigh unto the grave. Verse 4. I am counted with them that go down into the pit. I am as a man that have no strength. Let's keep going. Let's go down some more. Okay. Verse 13. But until thee have I cried, O Lord, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent thee. It started off, O Lord God of my salvation, I have cried day and night before thee. So it's making a separation. And then it's going all the way down to 13. But until thee have I cried, O Lord, and in the morning shall my prayer prevent thee. Oh, man. The start of the day. Let's go to Job. Keep on. Job chapter 4. Job chapter 4 and 13 through 20. In thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men. Now the visions of the day when deep sleep fall upon men. In the thoughts from the visions of night, when deep sleep falleth upon men. Let's go down to 20. They are destroyed from morning to evening. They perish forever without any regard. So the word to, when it say morning to evening, now that's talking about going from one step to another step. The word and is just a conjunction. Somebody can say, what you do today? Oh, I went bike riding and fishing. Do that mean I went bike riding first and fishing? No, I'm just saying that's what I did. I'm putting them two things together. But if I say I went bike riding to fishing. That means I was bike riding first, then I went to fishing. The word to. They are destroyed from morning to evening. So back in Genesis, when it's saying morning and evening, that's the mystery right there, because and just is a conjunction. It's a clue. Morning and evening. It's just putting them two together. And when you read it from right to left, it gives you the understanding, because it gives you the real understanding throughout the book, like right here. They are destroyed from morning to evening. Let's keep going. Let's go to Sirach 18 to 26 again. Let's prove it. Let's prove it some more. Sirach 18 and 26. From the morning until the evening. The word until, the same thing. From the morning until the evening. The word until. If I be like, somebody be like, so what you think I should do first? Nah, you clean up your room until you're ready to go. How you think I should go about the day? Should I just go and then clean my room up? Nah, you're going to say, nah, clean your room up until you're ready to go. So you take this step, then this step. So that's what it say down here. Hold on, where we at? 26. From the morning until the evening, the time is changed. And all things are soon done before the Lord. So that's reiterating Genesis over again. Because it keeps saying the morning and the evening was the first day all the way through the sixth day. So it's letting you know right here again. From morning until the evening, the time is changed. It's nighttime now. And all things are soon done before the Lord. Time to rest, man. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go to Psalms 91. Psalms 91. Psalms 91 and 5. Psalms 91 and 5. Psalms 91 and 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day. Verse 6. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Noon is the peak of the day. When the sun is at its highest point in the sky, that's the noonday. But it's equating it to wickedness, though. But the clue on is giving you science. The science is there, though. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night when you can't see, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. It's that you know it's a distinction over and over. Let's go back again. Ecclesiastes. It's just showing day and night is separate cycles. Let's go again. Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 22. For what have man of all his labor and his vexation of his heart, talking about his mind, wherein he have labored under the sun. Now he labored in the nighttime when he can't see. Who labored under the sun. Verse 23. For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. So it's letting you know the nighttime is for rest. And it ain't got nothing to do with the day. And labored under the sun. Then the Most High in Genesis 1 and 5, he said he made the light, called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So it's letting you know in different ways that light and day is two different cycles with two different purposes. Come on, let's go, let's ride, let's go. Day is the cycle of work. That's what it's letting you know. Day is the cycle of work. So this talking about man right here. Let's read it again. Ecclesiastes 2 and 22. For what have man of all his labor and of vexation of the heart, talking about his mind, wherein he have labored under the sun. 23. For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vain. Come on, man. It's letting you know two different cycles. So that's talking about man, what the light and day is for man. The labor under the sun and rest in the night. Now let's go see what the Most High do. Second Esdras. Second Esdras 6 and 38. And I said, O Lord, thou speakest from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus, let heaven and earth be made, and thy word was a perfect work, his orders. And then was the spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. The sound of man's voice was not formed. Verse 40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures, that thy work might appear. Letting you know right there. Your work gonna appear in the light because you can see. That's a, come on, man. That's a parable right there. It's letting you know the nighttime is for rest and the daytime is for working. Let's go back to Genesis 5. Let's go back to Genesis 5. Genesis 5 and 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them and called their name Adam. In the day when they were created. So then back over here, let's go back. He said in the day that they were created. Let's see if it's not talking about the literal light. Second Esdras 6 and 40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures, that thy work might appear. It said man's voice wasn't even created yet. Man wasn't even created yet. So it's letting you know the sun was made. The sun was made and light was made before man was made. Because if you sat back and you drew up diagrams or everything was mapped out and man was your ultimate creation, wouldn't you set everything up first before you put him down there? So those scriptures is paralleling each other. Let's read it. And I said, O Lord, thou, it said, in the day that Adam and Eve was created, And I said, O Lord, thou speakest from the beginning of the creation, even the first day, and said thus. The first day is when light was made. Let heaven and earth be made. The commandments went out, and they were, and thy word was a perfect work. And then was the spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side. Light wasn't created yet. The sound of man's voice was not yet formed. Man wasn't even here yet. Verse 40. Then commandest thou a fair light to come forth of thy treasures, his treasures of knowledge, of creation, that thy work might appear. Let's go to Isaiah 4. Isaiah 4 and verse 5. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flame of fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. So let's read it again. Assemblies, a cloud, and a smoke by day. Because why would you shine light in the daytime? Wouldn't it be better to put clouds of smoke for a smoke signal? Like the Indians, you use smoke signals. And the shining of a flaming fire by night. Now when it's nighttime, you need some light. For upon all glory shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from the storm and from rain. And they shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat. It say the daytime from the heat. Let's see. Now let's go back. Sirach 18 and 26. It say the daytime from the heat. Let's see where else it said that. Sirach 18 and 26. From the, no, that ain't what I'm looking for. It's Baruch. Baruch 2 and 25. And lo, they are cast out of the heat of the day into the frost of the night. Go back to Isaiah 4 and 5 again. And 5 again. No, 6. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge and covert from the storm and from rain. In the daytime from the heat. Let's go back over here again. And hold on. And lo, Baruch 2 and 25. And lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day and the frost of the night. 2 different cycles. Isaiah 4 and 6. A shadow in the daytime from the heat. Let's go back to Genesis 1 and 26. And God said, let us make man in our image. Let's go all the way down with a 31. And God said everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. It say the evening and the morning was the 6th day. It ain't say nothing about night in there. That's prove it. Night ain't got nothing to do with day. Let's go to Job. Job 3. Job chapter 3 and verse 6. As for the night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Lo, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. But right here, after this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Let the day perish when I was born, and the night in which it was said there a man child was conceived. So it's saying the day I was born. So this is a parable right here. It's talking about birthday, but then it's giving you a clue to something else. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined into the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of months. It's letting you know you don't mark your calendar by the nighttime. Let's go to 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 5. Ye are the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not the night nor of darkness. Yea, are all the children, yea, ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep. Let you know the nighttime is for sleep. Even though on one end it's talking about being wicked and righteous, but on another end it's talking about the physical light and dark. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Talking about others sleep spiritually with no understanding, but then it's talking about people while people sleeping. But let us watch and be sober. Talking about being a watchman, a spiritual watchman, and a physical watchman. Like it's saying Judges. Let us go, it say, let us labor during the day and be a guard unto the night unto us. Verse 7. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and that they may be drunken are drunken in the night. That drunken is talking about being in wickedness with no understanding right there. They that be drunken are drunken in the night. Because if we're talking about drunks, drunks get drunk as soon as they wake up. Verse 8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for helmet the hope of salvation. So that's talking about right there. That's talking about, but let us who are of the day. We the children of the sun. The nighttime ain't got nothing to do with us. Come on, man, let's go. So on that note, shalom, shalom. This episode 5, I'm about to cut it and then start back up with episode 6. I'm still going in. I'm still teaching, still going. This episode 6 coming up. So I just finished episode 5. Now I'm about to dive into episode 6 and break all that down. Shabbat shalom from the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Greeting. This Zephaniah treasured warrior spirit for the Most High Yahweh. Yahweh, spiritual assassin for the Most High God. Yasha'Allah, Israel, a.k.a. Yah Mordecai, wise warrior for the Most High, mighty one God of Israel, coming from Sith Lord Tiger School of Truth, servants in the house of the Lord, together in God's eternal righteousness. Sith Lord Tiger, stick together, y'all.